Ladies and gentlemen, if I may, I just interrupt. My friend Henry controls the crowd beautifully. I'd just like to say a few thank yous. First of all, thank you to all of you for being here this evening and making it what I think has been a very special evening. I'm not sure it's one that we could easily repeat or we would necessarily want to repeat, but I'm sure it might mark the start of similar evenings in the future. I need to say a big thank you to a few people. Firstly, to the sponsors who've made this evening possible. There have been a number of those who've come on board very, very quickly to support this event. And you've seen the slides, and you can see them now, of those individuals and companies that have made this evening possible. So thank you. Without them, it couldn't have happened. But also, when we found out that we would have the honour of Vice President Joseph Biden with us this evening, there was a really big decision to be made, because clearly a venue like this isn't inexpensive. The presence of Vice President Biden, whilst he doesn't charge for his speaking expenses, clearly it takes resources to bring a man of that stature to the country. And so Henry and I put it to the HUPO, the Human Proteome Organization's Executive Council, that we might have the liberty to spend a little bit of the Congress budget, or possibly even all of the Congress budget profit, on this evening, on the understanding that we would attempt to return the money to them by getting sponsorship. And I think I would just like to acknowledge the bravery and the courage that they had, and the faith they had that we could do this by allowing us to do that. Now, it has to be said that we have raised some money, but we haven't quite raised enough to pay them back fully. They were prepared for that, and I think that's extremely gracious of the HUPO as an organisation to have invested in this event. But we have, as you know, put out a request that if anybody feels that they are able or would like to support the event by providing a small amount of sponsorship, then we'd welcome that. There's really no obligation to do that, and we certainly didn't want people to think that they were here because that they could buy a ticket to be here. They're here because, as an assembled group, I think we've got a great diversity of individuals, from patients to researchers to those individuals who are going to HUPO, members of government, state officials, research agencies. And it's for that reason, that diversity, that we wanted people to be here. So I'd like to thank the HUPO Executive Council for their bravery in making that decision. Of course, once the decision was made, it was a small team of people then that had to work together to try and put the event on at breakneck speed. And there were a small group of people who worked tirelessly. We've heard about calls through the night and day, and of course, when you work internationally, one of the downsides is that everybody's got different nights and days. And so we did work very hard. I'm not going to mention that small team. They know who they are, that provided the support to help me put this event on. I say me, it was us put this event on. So I'd like to thank them. Of course, it couldn't have happened on the ground if it wasn't for the people on the ground. And I'd particularly like to thank Columba. Many of you will have seen her this evening, who in the last few weeks has worked really hard to put this on. And I think you'll all agree it's been a magnificent staging of this event. So thank you, Columba. Thank you. It's a wonderful venue, and we've been supported in the venue by the staff here, and the staff have been magnificent, from the guys at the front of house who've looked after us and organised it, to all the catering staff, both in the kitchens and who've served us this evening, so I think it beholds us to thank them as well. You've had a lot of speeches this evening, and I don't intend to make this one particularly long, but I just wanted to say a few things, because I'd anticipated that I would find the words of Joseph Biden inspiring, and I've already told you about my trip to Sweden that really sort of triggered re-inspiration and re-motivated me. And we've heard tonight of how some of the serious proteogenomics efforts are driving forward our initiatives in cancer research. And over the next few days, we're going to be meeting again, some of us, in this fantastic forum of the HUPO World Congress, and I'm really looking forward to the next few days. I think some of you know, maybe, about my younger sister Adele. I talk about her quite a lot because I'm very proud of her, and she's as passionate about climbing mountains as I am about cancer research. So Adele has twice summited Everest, and on each occasion she took her little teddy bear, Ted, she's not got a great imagination, with her. And she's the only UK woman to have summited Everest twice. So I think to stand on top of the world and survey the world around you must be an amazing experience. But I hope that maybe from what we've heard tonight, and maybe we've been sufficiently inspired, that one day someone, it probably won't be Adele, might stand on top of Everest and survey the world, but survey a world in which cancer has been defeated. A world devoid of cancer, or at least those cancers that people do have, can be managed and they will survive them. That seemed to me, sort of when I was writing, there was a sort of a bit of an unrealistic aim and intention, but I think from what we've heard this evening, you can certainly hear that people at a very senior level have the same desire for that to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to close this evening's dinner and thank you all for being here tonight, making the evening very, very special. And as I'm sure that as you travel to your homes and some of you to your hotels, you'll, like me, have been moved by Joe Biden's words. I think probably now it's our duty to hold on to those words and in whatever way we can, in the different ways that we operate, convert them into action. Convert them into action now. Good night.